Going on? This is going to be about the Atlanta Murder Mystery Part 3. Watched the last episode last night. And this is where Wayne Williams becomes the primary suspect and eventually arrested and then eventually was charged. But did he do it? And there have been theories out there, and some of the people that were asked now in hindsight don't think he did it. I believe there was a KKK. I think there was a lot more going on. And I know they're going to say he was linked to a couple of the killings, but they're tying him all to the same. Now, is he aware of certain people in the proximity? Yeah, being in the community and what he was involved in with the music and so on. But I'm not going to believe that he was able to do all that or even get most of that done. Something just don't add up. And this always has seemed like a very puzzling and perplexing situation. So I said before, and I'll say it again, being a black child growing up back in that day and time period, that was a scary time no matter where you were. Because if you paid attention to the news and you saw people who looked like you or in the same age as you, etc., and to see bodies floating and, decapitated, etc., that was a horrific and scary premise of situation. So did they get the right guy? I don't know. And a lot of people don't know. Because Wayne Williams has still maintained his innocence 40 years later almost, which is hard to believe. That is hard to believe. That's freaking spooky when you think about it, but he's very much alive. And, when he talks, he says condolences out to the families and so on. So, and Georgia has a reputation of having Confederate flag wearing KKK members on the police force, etc. And I'll just say it like this. Their history and what's going on and what have you, it's not exactly like you would be far-fetched not to think that they wouldn't kill black children because of the history, not only in there, but in the country. And to say that a black man did all that, I would need a little bit more concrete proof. So this episode and this story takes on, and I like when they show the old flashback of Sam Donaldson, the ABC correspondent journalist, when he was talking to Ronald Reagan and said, well, if they were white kids, would you have acted quicker? Which echoes today with Donald Trump. And so often the same things that you said then, you say now. Because if the rush to get somebody based on being the color of their skin, there has always been a double standard. And politicians and people sit there and lie all the time. It's not the same rush when it comes to black folks. That history has proven itself time and time again. So anyway, this has been must-see documentary, very compelling arguments, very to look at it. In a lot of ways, like things I remember. Wayne Williams was he was an intelligent cat, cocky, nerdy, interestingly aloof, and you really couldn't make out his mannerisms, etc. But yet, something about this just didn't always add up. There seems to be a lot bigger spin. It seems a bit too sinister to fall under his wheel. That's just the way I feel and the way it comes into me. But anyway, give me your thoughts and takes about the Atlanta Mystery Murder Part 3 documentary, which is being shown on HBO. And it's a very compelling documentary that takes you back to not so long ago. And interesting when you see how Atlanta has gone over the years with the music community, entertainment community, etc. But this still has to haunt. This still has to be like a cloud over the city, no matter what nobody says. Because I haven't forgotten about it. And my thoughts and prayers are always with all the victims and everybody involved. And there's still a lot of unanswered questions to this day. Was justice served? Did they get the right person? And do they know more than what they've said? And I believe they do. Anyway, give me your thoughts and takes. Hit the like, subscribe, and the bell rings. New video. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for one another. And always make sure that when you seek out justice, make sure it's a fair game. Because a lot of times, it is very divisive. I'm out.